Hello, beautiful people. Today I'm reading from this beautiful book of Julia Baird's called Phosphorescence. And if you can wrap your tongue around the title, it's a really cool name, really cool word. So it's Phosphorescence on Awe, Wonder, and the Things That Sustain You When the World Goes Dark. And I'm particularly loving her chapter. And to be honest, I haven't read the whole lot. I'm about halfway through. But I'm particularly loving her chapter titled Why We Need Silence. And there's a beautiful couple of paragraphs here just about this man who's known as a sound tracker. And I just thought I'd share it because, this is a very well-researched book, and it questions a lot of topics that we have come to just accept as the norm. And she just really, fleshes out topics with really evidence-based approach, which I just really love. It's a real, there's a real page turner. Other chapters are titled things like Bathe in Nature, and there's one called A Better Show Outside. There's also one about a cuttlefish as well, if I can find it. That's just a really cool chapter, Lessons from a Cuttlefish. So there's we're all wiggly. She talks a lot about imperfections and how it's really normal to be imperfect, and how actually we should just embrace it. I'll just read from the one about silence and the sound tracker today, but I might try and read at some of my other favorite chapters. Read from some of them soon. So this is the chapter Why We Need Silence, a really beautiful quote at the start of this chapter as well, which says, "Let tiny drops of stillness fall gently through my day." Isn't that beautiful? And that was by Aboriginal elder called Miriam Rose Ungunmer Borman, who's from the Northern Territory. But this little bit here talks about Gordon Hempton. So silence is not just the absence of noise or even unnecessary noise. It's the absence of noise made by human beings. It is rare and shrinking. American acoustic ecologist Gordon Hempton, the man known as a sound tracker, defines it as the complete absence of all audible mechanical vibrations, leaving only the sounds of nature at her most natural. True quiet, he says, is the think tank of the soul. The real joy of silence is not about blocking out the noise, but reconnecting with or listening to the land. The wisdom is a place where hippies, scientists, Indigenous people, wilderness lovers, and the rest of us motley crew can meet. When I was living in New York, I interviewed Hempton, who then had circled the earth 3 times, recording sound on every continent except Antarctica, and become increasingly disturbed by the disappearance of silence from even the most remotest places. He has walked through the Australian outback and the Kalahari Desert, along the edges of volcanoes and deep into forest to track sound. For him, the earth is a solar-powered jukebox. Hempton's conversion to sound came one night when, as a 27-year-old botany student, he slept in a cornfield for a night. He heard crickets, then rolling thunder, then stayed still as a storm passed over him, listening. He was drenched but delirious, wondering, how could I be 27 years old and have never truly listened before? From then on, he carried a microphone and tape recorder with him everywhere, obsessively listening. Freight trains, hobos, it was a flood of sensation. Now Hempton's passion is the preservation of true natural silence, which he describes not as the absence of something, but the presence of something. It is many sounds, he says. Silence, and this is quoting him, Silence is a moonlit song of the coyotes signing the air and the answer of its mate. It is a falling whisper of snow that will later melt with an astonishing reggae rhythm, so crisp that you will want to dance to it. It's a sound of pollinating winged insects, vibrating soft tunes as they defensively dart in and out of the pine boughs to temporarily escape the breeze, a mix of insect hum and pine sigh that will stick with you all day. Silence is a passing flock of chestnut-backed chickadees and red-breasted nuthatches, chirping and fluttering, reminding you of your own curiosity. So that's only a small fragment of just one of the chapters of this new book. Well, it's a few months old, but it was released this year, and it was written before coronavirus, but it's resonated so much during coronavirus as well. So yeah, check it out. I'll try and share like another excerpt or chapter as I go along. But yeah, it's a true gem, this book. And I've got the sort of hard cover version as well, which is yeah, you may not be able to see it, but it's like luminescent in the light as well. So it's a treasure just to have. And this is actually borrowed off my mum, so thank you, Mum. You've got a great selection of books, and I think that's probably ultimately where my love of books first started. Was both my parents were big readers. So yeah, check it out. Phosphorescence. Phosphorescence. It's hard to say, but well worth the read. See ya.